All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm so glad to have KR here, a beautiful and powerful poet. I first met her when she was featured at On the Page, Off the Page, which is Richard Ivanhoe's venue. And she had such an intensity. And because of that, I thought, well, she has to feature. It's sacred. And so that happened pretty quickly thereafter, back in the cafe days, that was. She was then still teaching English and creative writing at Galileo High School in San Francisco. She has several publications, of which Cauldrons comes to mind, which is a very intense kind of collection. If you haven't had a chance to see that, I suggest you take a look at that. She's presented poetry in New Orleans, Los Angeles, New York, and of course, San Francisco. Has been published widely in Switchback, Quiet Lightning, the Haight-Ashbury Literary Journal, Gasconade Review, and Great Weather for Media. She's very active in the poetry scene in San Francisco and the Bay Area, and a wonderfully powerful voice. No holds barred kind of thing. She says what she needs to say, and you can't help but hear. It's a great perspective. Wonderful to have you here. And I am now going to mute me and pass the mic to you.
Dan, I always appreciate your intros. They're organic and thoughtful. And then you just get so personal with your features, not just me. I think that's such a cool quality that you have. I love Sacred Grounds and featuring for you, and that's one reason of many. So thanks for having me. I'm going to get to it. I have some new stuff tonight and a couple oldies that I have missed reading out loud. And if it's okay, I'd like to read them here. The first one is a sort of rewrite from something that I originally wrote. Well, I'll be frank. I'm 4 years sober on August 18th. And I wrote the original draft of this extremely intoxicated, to the point where I didn't remember writing it. And so I rewrote it. And it's an old tribute to my mother. It's called Opus Number 5. She is your wounded child, your fire-red irony, privileged to drown beneath waterfront homes, away from you. She is the catalyst of your madness, your breach release, your breathing suicide. She is your blood made red that in you made guns fire blue and men bruise the angst camouflaging your grace. She is the one you planned, your final fuck you, your sketch on canvas one last time, because that's what free women do. They choose to create, to move through easels even of their womb. The wind is a poet when she steals the paintbrush from our hands. I feel more like you than I ever have. I feel the rising temperature of restlessness fever me away from connections I constructed, ambition etched to avoid you, to rewrite him and you, to make my world, to make my own world rather than cash into a fortune I refuse but relentlessly understand. I breathe in life's reservations, and like you, I bury my heart on wounded knee after the arresting disaster. I set these landscapes ablaze like you for the last word, for a testimony on my own terms. Landscapes made from a mess of ingredients determined to die. But there's always more breath in the morning. When I face the mirror, grief transforms my face into yours. My jaw is sore from the night before, grinding through the poetry, all the landscapes that dictate what I can and cannot do. All I want to do is love like you. Love freely and get back the give and get love back the way gravity makes important things fall, like mother, like daughter. That is our curse. We refuse gravity, or maybe it refuses us. That's done. Yeah, I was like, well, let's read some embarrassing things tonight. I'm going to try something new and read some poems off my desktop. So forgive me if I have bad tech things happen on my end. I'll do my best. This is called Tarot Poem. Death scythes from shuffles, waving its soiled flag. A mother and her child finally breathe. A mother sees the sun is soon rising. Love's fresh chapters ahead. Let it die. Walk toward the fire, La Muerta says. Under a dead king is a survivor's heart, wrapped in barbed wire. Even the trees refuse to bloom from his mistakes. There is no fruit. Leaves refuse to dance with wind. From my third eye, I hear dawn's overture, witch mother's moonrise, a high priestess hymns, unleashing a lion from the king tucked inside of my right breast. I sit on a throne wood carved by woman chiefs who harness her inner masculine from the vulva of an empress. I wave love's flag with the world in my hand. What will we build? What new way will we live? From what cliffs will we take that collective leap? What war cry hibernates in our knapsacks? Justice during moon season, she is a wolf, a sea dragon. Her nest is the Algerian Sea. I hide blades and karmic lessons for anyone waiting for me and an egress. It's done, that poem. Okay. This is a very, very, very new one that spilled out of me yesterday. I have no title for it yet. It's far from pretty, but this is how I edit. I'll read it out loud. So, life unfolds so many assaults, a lie, a rape, a ghost that once conjured so much life. Life can make a woman feral. Her memory an otherworld of shadows of everyone else's footsteps, imposter feet. Every day her life an armed robbery, the one life slowly dying while she holds everyone's breath. They say when floating along a rough river, you can't ease your way out. Meet the white water with grace can get you killed. You got to come after wolf foam in battle, your own aggression, a Gorgon torch through the mayhem of the rapid. Life's assaults are why the rabbits go in hiding, why us moon kids, we can't take it. We'd rather die than partake in the knife fight or go it alone, waiting for thriving life. Okay, that one I'm going to keep there. Okay, so I wrote this one when Ukraine was in the news, and of course with Palestine, it certainly has its relevance in more than one area of the globe. So I'm going to read it tonight. To that child hiding in the bomb shelter, I'm coming. Soon I'll scoop you up. With you feel Earth Mother kick down war and border doors for us. Sea crones wash away their grenades while I strap you to me with poet's dynamite. To that child hiding in the bomb shelter, I'm coming. I hear you, your love cries, your tears. I gasp for you. I hold my breath. In dreams, your cherry innocence sings to me. Child ghosts echo in zephyr winds. To that child hiding in the bomb shelter, create tents from flags stitched in freedom. Tell your mother a magic story. Into the wall, draw a space portal. Into it, shove fear, their genocides, their tanks. Tell your friends to stuff prayers in their pockets. With me, I'm bringing the sun. We got a whole crew out here taking to the streets for you. This was written for all the mothers in the world that are having to hold their children who are dying or have died. Somebody else read something and I thought, well, I'm going to read Fertile Gods. I'm not a mom biologically, but it's hard to stop writing about what that must be like. And so I've been writing a lot of poems for mothers who lose their children. I don't know. So it's called Fertile Gods. Inside a mother who buries her child is a fifth world war. In her womb, a submarine bored by blue in dark seas. Somewhere in her sorrow swim is a great white armed with arrowheads, death daggers. On each one she carves a sigil for every assault, every bone in her back aching war story. When a mother cries magic, joy from her baby's first breath, then crashes into cradling them, blood spilling, baby's mouth clanging by man bombs. Poets like me, we wonder, when in the sickening sacred burden was she anointed one of the gods? Poets like me, we wonder, why garden harvests around her have the audacity to bloom? When a mother is alive, she must become a woman outside of herself for fertility, for others, for the greater good. Red fire falling down her cheeks while we all bask in her love and her light, her growth, her apparitions. When a mother bereaves her child, she ages into graves. Sanskrit calls her Viloma, a desert cactus blossoming buffalo gourds. From the weeping, she ingests, swallows herself for Grand Canyon grief. Beneath her fingernails, always she endures. Small talk, bills, jobs, time, none of it stops. Inside a mother who buries her child, her spirit hibernates between hurricanes and tumbleweeds. She builds new living rooms stocked with battle axes, Hoover massacres. She stuffs her tears into aerial bombs for the daughter pilots. That's done. All right, let's go lighter. It's a little love poem for the sun and the moon because my favorite time of day is it's called dusk, right? When the sundown. A nightlight rises in love with the sun. From a forest dripping of branches, she waxes for emerald wounds inside herself, an eastern sea, celestite reefs, riptide swirling of the wounded, a woman's nerve spilling from her pen, an avengeful uterus, a teenager's fury scraping a concrete curb, redefining street structures with her skateboard. A nightlight rises, searching for the sun. These days, they meet at sunset. Mandarin and fuchsia from their tongues decorate the date. The sea soundtracks dusk's quick exchange, crashing bass drums from waves. A group of ghost kids, they watch from the reefs, hungry for love to remember them. Every full moon is a nightlight in love with the sun. Lately, she brings bones, offerings carefully picked for him. Okay. How much time do I have? Where am I? How am I doing?
8 minutes.
Oh, wow.
7 minutes.
Okay, that makes more sense. All right, what am I going to do here? 7 minutes, huh? Okay, I'm going to read two more. This one is because of the Ireland talk tonight. I would like to read a historical fiction poem I wrote. I had a phase where I was really obsessed with the Irish pirate Grace O'Malley. So I wrote this piece called Grace O'Malley Resurrects San Francisco. On Bob Kaufman Alley, Grace O'Malley emerges from a forgotten red door, lock busted above years of faded graffiti, hinges rusted from countless decades, old red-headed weather. Upon Grace's presence, a lucky Irish blessing, bay fog comes cauldroning the sky into thick hammocks of velvet gray. For the madness of recent seasons, for the grand gunfight of slaughters and pandemics. They say in Ireland, she was a cast iron teapot searching for hot water, so the man pens rode her away. They didn't want long locks tangling in their boat ropes. No room for sea thieves with wombs. No pirates allowed to pillage and create. On Grant Avenue, Grace turns, fire hair above eyes boiling like two torches, sea flame. She sirens poets from Vesuvio Cafe. Crews of mothers and kids pour new worlds and rainbows onto North Beach streets. At Washington Square, she hands children spears. The women get torches for protection. Together, they march down Columbus as young children carousel around Grace's Viking thick legs as she shouts, "What you see is the end of his systems. Burn his patriarchy down." That's it. Okay, one more. Let me get a short enough one. I'm gonna close with one I really want to read, but I'm worried I might go a little over time. I think it's like 3.5 minutes. I'm gonna hurry up and just read it.
You have 4 minutes.
Okay.
Go get them.
Okay.
Four and a
I haven't read this one in a really long time, and it's I love it and I miss it. So I'm gonna close with it. Memoir of a pirate girl who could and did. She was supposed to be born a boy. Instead, she arrived breech like a boomerang covered in nails. So in Screaming's grip, her mother of 5 demanded they tie her tubes. Her oldest brother says that at night, she'd break free from her crib and climb the kitchen counter where she'd pour kitchen spices into miniature mountains, swirling rosemary and garlic salt mandalas, chili powder clouds. Little pirate girl often got her way by holding her breath until she turned blue, and by 5, she carried on her head tangles of red curls like barbells. That was the year she started eating toothpaste and began a bath boycott. That was the year she decided she hated shoes. That was the year she called apples those good green things. Yet she knew the smell of weed. Why all those sharp cuts and scratches in family glass tables? how to name her mom's Remington 30-30, how to load and cock a shotgun using her breath and body weight. She recalls those early seasons as her elderly years, an era most colorful but confusing. It would be many falls before she could ride a bike, many more summers before she could swim. Yet she did ride horses. She did hide beasts between her thighs. So she buried songs, sisters, holy grails inside her big girl stomach. She treasures those golden days, riding car seats we adults call motorcycle tanks. It would be years before she understood her not so healthy fear of water, and such fear literacy could and did riptide her into understanding the great struggle inside us all. When we love something so much, we're terrified. Furious human whirlpools of respect manifesting fear so what's dreadful appears. Bleeding free while tear salt sits stubborn inside anxiety cuts. Such courage country could and did wash her wounds away. I spoke to Pirate Girl. On a Sunday, the sun shared with storms steadfast, just before a full blood moon. She is a sea captain now. No kids of her own, but many seasons she's guided several through all kinds of natural disasters. I'm guessing these kids made by other mothers are the echoes in her bones that these days throb and swell like the sea in which she submerges, like a worried woman always steering, treading, a woman always in some kind of labor. Pirate Girl has all kinds of stories. The way cops could tell you everything's going to be okay and at the same time hold guns to your mother's face. And they did. Which reminds her, she recalls 22 expressions of one exhausted but mostly free outlaw mother. And this same woman taught her how to handle pain bit, by bridle. Best hide your ride from outsiders, her mother warned, especially those men. Pirate Girl told me that sirens are real. She says she's never actually seen one, but their soothing hymns summon her sometimes. They enlist loyal armies to her wounds through human shapes they make with moonlight and sea ingredients. Which reminds her, she came close to diving into the deep black, in a region of the great sea away from coordinates and maps, only to surge from their lure like dreams, leaving her in love but exhausted, like she never rested, leaving her wishing she could return to those good green things, hold her breath once more till her skin turns blue again.
Right on the money.
Unmute, ladies and gentlemen.
Bravo.
Thank you.
Wow. I don't
Wow,
know.
wow, wow.
That's
Holy
awesome.
Wonderful.
That was great.
Oh,
As KR is amazing. That's what Heather said.
yeah.
D. Allen has a comment, bunch of them in there. Check out those things. Check out the chat there and save it for your archival records there. KR, beautiful. Well
Thank
done.
you for everyone here and the great poetry. I feel lucky. The real true currency is us.
That's true. That's true.